what's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. So Monique and Sidney, they went on their IG Live to respond directly to what her son Shalon said in regards to her parenting and their relationship. So I always like to hear both sides of the story, and I wanted you to as well. So let's go ahead and hear what they had to say in their own words.
It was Instagram that was put up, or I guess
it was TikTok, baby.
TikTok that was put up by
my son, my oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
And love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half the down payment for it. And you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point. And I'm negotiating the deal with the dealer for you as you sit there. And you have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out when you're expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother. You're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father, where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. The one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes speak after they've heard one side of the story, there's an old saying, believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but what we will convey is this. Those who are parents and have raised their parents up to being adults.
Children. Raise their children up to being adults.
Right on. Those who are parents that raise their children into adulthood know that there comes a time and a place in which they determine their own decisions, their own path. You can have multiple children that are raised in one house, but they act and they take on different things.
Okay, so a few things, right? One, Shalon mentioned the things, the material goods, right? And they are doing the same. They're talking about cars. They're talking about, him being called an uncle when that's Shalon's stepfather, and then her calling him daddy. Listen, I understand everybody's family functions differently, and there's no judgment on my end. I'm just trying to piece together why she would ask her son to call her husband uncle, because that would make him her brother, not her daddy. Child, okay. All right. Okay, I think they addressed it a little bit in this portion of the video, so I skipped ahead. So I'll let you guys hear it from them.
When you see these individuals with the mansions, with the cars, and all of these things, in the words of our great ancestor, Bob Marley, some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Come on.
Don't be that.
Come on.
Don't be that.
I'm sorry to be chuckling. When I hear you, when I hear my son, when I hear you, Shalon, talk about money and stuff, it's like, baby, as I told you when you were younger, I told you as a man, don't let nobody introduce you to me. You know who your mama is.
And when folks speak in reference to calling your seed, sometimes, especially when your seed decided to call things off with you because you didn't move for a 34-year-old, 32-year-old man in the time that he wanted to do, because you as a mother, you as an entertainer, you as an actress, you as a grandmother, you as a wife, allotted the time to see him, but he pushed you away. But then when it's time for him and it doesn't work for you, now it's a problem. Listen, it comes a point in time where when you become a man, when you become a woman, it is your obligation to do for you. To do for you. At 31, brother, 32, I'm sitting there on a conversation at the behest of your mother. Why? For you. Because I love my nephew. And we still love you, Shalon. That's why your mother and your father interact with one another, to let them be aware of what's happening with you. So if you think you're not loved, that's because you're not paying attention. And there are other dynamics that fall into play, in which we completely understand. And for you too, we're going to keep the light on for you. But I find it extremely ironic that the last time you saw me, you wanted to be able to call me dad. And I couldn't allow you to call me dad because there's only one dad in your life. And he's a friend of ours.
Come on.
He's a friend of ours.
I'm okay. So could he not call two people dad? Could he not respect Sidney in that role of stepdad? I don't think that that they are conveying the loving message that they think that they are. They've talked about cars, mansions, money, but then they quoted Bob Marley. And when he asked, could he call him dad, right? Putting forth that olive branch, or, making an effort to recognize his role as his mother's husband, as his stepfather, you told him no? What? That's blowing my mind. So the only person that can call you daddy is Monique and the kids that that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. I feel like, and the reason why this interests me so much is because I can see this dynamic from Monique's pick me vibes, y'all, to Sidney is giving, the whole husbander. We've seen that in so many different couples. Almost none of them are healthy relationships. And I've seen this dynamic play out in my own family and the extended family. And it is so complicated. I'll just say that. It's very interesting. What I will say, though, is this. I do appreciate Shalon speaking his truth. I do appreciate, him getting it off of his chest, not stifling it or internalizing it, because that stress can turn into ulcers and all kind of health issues. I'm glad that Sidney and even Monique, right, they said what they had to say. Because I always like to hear, like I said, both sides of the story. But I feel like if Sidney would step aside, that Monique and her son could heal. Sidney, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I feel like he views Shalon as a threat One, because that's not his biological son, but two, because Shalon can see through his BS. He's controlling. What does Sidney do outside of spend Monique's money? What job does he have? What value does he bring? He's her manager. Okay. But if she got sick tomorrow, then what? Right? And like I said, the fact that Shalon extended that olive branch and said, well, can I call you dad? You can have two dads. You can have a stepfather and a father. You can have a stepmother and a biological mother. He told him no. That tells me everything I need to know. But anyway, you guys, like I said, I wanted you here to hear from the horse's mouth what Monique and Sidney had to say. And I hope that they can heal, because Sidney, he's running the show and he's threatened by her oldest son, in my opinion. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.